Hey all, Tony here. Thanks for watching this video here on Barlow Roots. Wanted to do a quick video and explain our incubator. It's pretty cool, I think, but I made it. So we've been researching incubators quite a bit, looking for them online, used, things like that. And a friend of ours actually made an incubator. And so that gave us the idea that maybe we could make one too. And so we went to YouTube, where we usually go. We are self-proclaimed YouTube homesteaders. There's so much out there to learn. So anyway, went to YouTube, saw some videos, did a little more research, and realized basically we had just about everything we needed to get this going, to get this started. And so we've been running eggs in here for, this is day 2. We started out with one lighting system. This will all make sense in a second, but we started out with one lighting system. We started out the process. We weren't quite getting to temperature, and Ingrid was really nervous about the actual light. It was like an old desk lamp with a dimmer on it. It was just a bit sketchy, and so she was nervous about it. So we decided not to use that light. So we weren't quite up to incubation temperature yet, so it wasn't a big deal. And then the next day I went to the hardware store and picked up all the parts we needed to make a light system basically from scratch. And so here's how incubation works. We have a rooster. That's step 1. And I'm not going to get into the details here, but we have a rooster, and then we've got a bunch of hens, and the rooster has been doing his job out there. We can visually see that happening. And so we then can collect the eggs, and you basically have 7 days. If you keep that egg at room temperature, you've got 7 days from when that egg was laid to start the incubation process. So we have no problem with that because our hens are laying most days are laying 20 to 24 eggs. So, and our incubator can only really hold 24 to 25 eggs. So we took all the eggs we got in a day plus a few more from another day from the next day and loaded up the incubator with those eggs. Now the chances are, because we have one rooster and 26 hens or 27 hens, I don't really know, chances are not all of these eggs are fertilized. They say if you want all your eggs fertilized, you should have like 6 hens to every rooster or something like that. And so obviously we're way off. But we're hoping, the reason we loaded up as many as we could is because we're hoping, we're playing the odds. So we put 25 in there, maybe we'll get a dozen or something, who knows. So we're hoping for the best. So you load them in the incubator. Seems like a good time to kind of explain the incubator. What you see here on the outside, I'm not sure if this is going to be backwards, but this is a humidity sensor and a temperature sensor. And what it says here is 51. That's our humidity. You want to keep the humidity between 25% and 65%, I believe. And then this is the temperature, and you want to keep the temperature between about 99 and 102. And so it's quite a challenge with this homemade system to regulate our temperature. We need that temperature to be within 3 degrees, which is pretty intense. So we've done actually pretty well. This last night, Ingrid said she was up every 2 hours. I don't really know why, but she came out here to check on it, and it was at 106. And so that's a little bit freaky time because that's when you can start to hurt your eggs that are in there. But I researched it, and it seems like if they spike every once in a while, that's okay. Our eggs should be fine. We've been holding it really well at around 100 degrees all day today. So I'm thinking we're doing really well with that. If we get close, the light's kind of funky, but I'm going to try to... So there's the eggs in there. And they're just in an egg carton, sitting in there. And I'll show you the wide picture. Can you tell what that is? It's basically just a styrofoam cooler. It's like one of those Omaha Steaks coolers. And what I did is, this is a dimmer switch that I got from Menards and just an outlet box. And then this right here is just basically a standard light fixture. They're like $1.50. And then I bought a replacement lamp cord that we use to wire it all. And so we use the dimmer switch to adjust how much light is going inside. See if you can see the light bulb in there. So there's the light bulb hanging down. So we use the dimmer switch to adjust how much light / heat is going into the incubator. Here's the down view. You can see there you've just got an egg carton filled on both sides. And then the other key is you have to, a hen, when she's incubating her eggs, turns them. So she's constantly moving and turning the eggs. So that's another important part of it. And so we've got it, basically all we're doing, instead of having to open the lid all the time to turn the eggs, we're just propping it up on one side, and then every 6 to 12 hours we switch and we take this to the other side and prop it up on that side. So basically we're just rocking the eggs back and forth. And that should, from what we've read, that should simulate the egg turning system. So as with most things, we try to make it pretty as easy as we can for ourselves and try to research that so it's not an all-consuming project. But here's what happens. So we put these in here Tuesday, that was yesterday. In 21 days, we should have baby chicks. What we will do is in about 7 days, we will start pulling eggs out of there. So next Monday or Tuesday, we'll pull eggs out and we'll do what's called candling them. And you just put a bright flashlight underneath the egg, and then you can see inside the shell. And if you see these little red veins inside the shell, it means you've got a chick growing in there. If you don't, it probably wasn't fertilized or something happened or whatever. And so I'm pretty excited for that day 7 when we can start pulling them out and looking inside and seeing how many of these 25 eggs are actually fertilized and growing chicks. And so we're excited for that day. And then, 21 days. So I think it was like April 24th or 5th or something like that. We should have chicks. And then we'll just leave them in here until all the eggs are hatched, until they get all dried off and warmed up. And then we'll move them to a brooder where they will just start to grow, start to feed them. They'll drink water. It's really amazing. I mean, I'm a bit skeptical at this point. I mean, it's hard to believe that I could take a styrofoam cooler and a bunch of eggs from our coop and make chickens. It's just kind of mind-blowing. But if it works, I'm excited because it's pretty cool to be able to hatch our own chicks. So that's the story. Right now it's sitting at 102 again, so it kind of fluctuates there between 100 and 102, and that's just perfect. So we will keep you updated. We're excited. Definitely when we do the candling, we'll let you know. And of course, we are trying to be very transparent here. So if this whole thing fails, we'll let you know that as well, and keep you updated along the process. So that's what I got from Barlow Roots. If you have any questions, we're pretty novice at this, but if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments and we'll do our best to answer them. If you have any experience and we're doing something ridiculously wrong here, feel free to add that to the comments as well. All right, thanks for watching this video here on Barlow Roots. We'll see you on the next video.